Well, hello and welcome to Jump to Jules podcast with Georgette Beck. I'm so excited. We are doing something different today. It's in-person interviews. I have two guests for the very first time, and it's going to be great fun, you guys, a father-daughter duo. And I had the great pleasure of meeting these guys at a networking event here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, a Mission Barbecue. We had a great time chatting and getting to know each other. But I'd like to welcome Dr. Raj Kumar and Raj Paladin Kumar. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
We're so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. This is fun. You meet. So one of the prayers I always prayed was I'd love to meet interesting people from all over the world, because as a reader, a learner, it's meeting people. It's getting to know other people's stories and the hearts that enrich our own lives. But it just is beautiful. So who wants to go first? Just share a little bit about yourself, the gist of you, and then we're going to start diving into where you all are from and your family story and all of that.
Paladin.
Paladin.
Well, hi everyone. I'm an 8th grader and I'm an athlete, so I love the outdoors. I play tennis. I've competed in various competitions and I love just getting out, hitting the tennis ball just really brings my mood up and makes me happy.
I love it.
I'm also a singer and I've done duets. I've been in bands. I've done public performances and I just really love expressing my feelings.
Oh my gosh. Paladin, that is amazing. Now, I can say your age, right? I have permission. So listen, I'm going to be 57 this August, and Paladin is 14 years old. And that's one of the things I noticed about Dr. Raj and his daughter. He is setting the foundation. He's helping her set her own foundation at this very young age to know who she is, to know where she's from, to understand her talents and skills, because it's first knowing it. Right? And the parenting is its own world, right?
Yes.
But to take it and understand that our children are gifts and a blessing, and we're not just raising them, it's an art. It's a development. And to see who you are, what your heart is, what you love, your passions, and then to find ways to enhance it. I love that. That got me. I was like, that is a beautiful thing. When a lot of us come from families that weren't aware, they loved us, but they didn't know that they need to know who they are and where they're from and why, and to understand things. 14, and she's already she's understanding music is important, her voice, and that's your communication style, right?
I'll express myself.
Yeah. So is there any type of music, like the genres that you love over others?
I mean, usually, I used to be in choir, so it's very classical, Christian song, very angelic. But I listen to pop music, but usually I opt for softer songs, but just really feel they're so beautiful and they usually have very deep and beautiful meaning and meaning.
Opera? Have you been to operas?
Oh
my gosh.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
The music is so powerful. Like in the Bible, they said they put the music, the band before the army. And then when you play music in your home, your environment, it does. It changes the environment. It lifts up your mood. And the fact that you're singing, it's beautiful. So, and then you said you played the piano too, right?
Yes. I actually started playing the piano about 4 years ago, I think. And I was pretty good. I could read the music, and then I kind of lost it. But I'm trying to get back into it.
I love it. Yeah, we were just chatting off air before this. I was Paladin's age when my mom's like, "Here, take some piano lessons." And it was just before, maybe it was because I was nervous. I was going to do a recital. And I gave her such a hard time. Mom's finally just said, "Enough. Fine, you can stop." But that was a regret I carried because I started to know music was important to me. So to understand this now, I just love it. And you're doing dance too. Are you taking dance lessons or just?
I don't take dance lessons.
Yeah.
I love the art of dance. I've watched dance performances from my friends and other people's on TV. But it's also a beautiful way to express feelings.
I love to dance.
Dr. Raj, tell us a little bit about yourself. How would you introduce yourself to people when you?
We're very blessed. This is a daddy-daughter moment for us, so we're very glad to be here with you. Thank you so much. My life has been all about my daughter Paladin. I have 5 degrees, and on my email signature, I have D.A.D. I get that question all the time. What is that degree, Dr. Raj? And it's dad. It really is my essence.
that's so
It's my
beautiful.
antidote, my sunshine, my greatest accomplishment, and so much more to come, right?
Yeah.
So on that note, we're here to build our children, our sons, our daughters, what have you.
Yeah.
And I think I've learned a little bit from my own childhood and my adulthood how to be that parent, that father. So a little background of me that sort of relates to our endeavor today. So I'm an entrepreneur in business. I'm also a physician. I've gone through different schooling, medical school, law school, business school.
Wow.
I do a lot of community activism for children, underserved youth as well. Families, we have a Red Nose Project where we support those who need medical care, food, clothing, and the like. And Paladin has been so involved in that, working with veterans and children our own age and younger. We've seen them, living in cars, living literally in the woods, living on the streets. A life that we don't have to go through.
Homelessness has been increasing here too a lot in our area.
So businessman, physician, but more consulting is the world I'm in. I'm an executive physician. We have an organization now we started of 26 physicians, and we work with hospitals, medical practice, insurance companies, politicians, etc. And in this time of my experience, I've seen some death and dying. I've seen some hardship. I've lived in poverty and gone through certain struggles of my own life in certain stages. And I think I've come to this point where I'm trying to define my life through the lens of how my daughter will see it. What is that
That's
legacy?
beautiful. No, that's really powerful.
When you've earned those degrees, or you have fancy suits, or you know the right people, you start thinking about not even just the retirement, because I don't think I'll ever retire, even when the robots are here. I'll work with you guys. You want to leave your mark, your legacy, what happens in the next phase when it's done. Grooming her, she also teaches me, make no mistake, and what we see in the community from what I've just described and even more. I do some work in DC and the national level, so that's kind of the road I'm in. More than just being an executive physician, more than just making a buck and knowing the right people. It's about that mark and legacy, what we leave behind, and service, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really speaks to our DNA. We come from a military family. I don't care how tough and arrogant and mean you are. At the end of the day, you feel a little bit of love in your heart.
Yeah,
and
there's heart and soul in all of it.
And I think I'm sort of in that phase. We still want our
Of course,
accomplishments.
we have gifts and talents that we're meant to share, and education's important, always learning something new. And you are born with a gift, and you have to discover that and then live it out. And you've succeeded quite a bit in the professional realm, in the medical realm. But here's the deal. You're aware of that, and you're giving back because you realize it's part of the whole thing of why we're human beings.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I agree with you. And the big thing that I've learned with, I've seen people on the deathbed, even a billionaire.
Yeah.
I lived in a Section 8 poverty housing at one point, and I've been through something. None of it goes with you. We are trapped in this American dream. Yes, we keep chasing things, and we teach the young ones to do the same. But then you leave just as you came into this world, right?
Correct.
With nothing.
Right.
And there's a beauty in that.
Ecclesiastes talks about the wealthy, the
Beautiful
poor,
reference.
the
Indeed.
achieving and gathering, and what is it all for? Like there's, life has a purpose, but it ain't for the things we get or do. It's all, people on their deathbed. Like, what are they thinking of? Ed Milet talked about thinking about his obituary every morning and then do life backwards. Nobody says about working more. It's always about heart matters and the people in your life and the family relationships, meaning, and living a life of meaning. And that has to do with our purpose, right? So I think it's all a package. Like holistic medicine, now you've got the traditional holistic, or, well, I don't know if it's the proper terms, but I think it's all a well-rounded package, just like we are as human beings. You have a heart, you have a mind, you have talents and skills and desires.
And I like your reference, and I know Paladin has so much to say too. This is the currency everybody's looking for.
The money.
But when that clock,
It's not
this is
all
the
that.
currency everybody's looking for.
At time,
The one you
you
can't
don't get that
buy,
back, not ever.
The one that doesn't roll over,
No.
right? And that's the almighty equalizer. I don't care who you are. So I feel like I've seen a little bit of that. There's still more to be seen. And Paladin's so young and at an invincible stage has seen a little bit of that. She's very bright. She's very motivated. She's very diligent. She has seen some of the inhumanity of humanity and also the brilliance of humanity. And I think she's
I
capturing
think that is what's lacking nowadays, is that a lot of our youth don't have that opportunity. And so here's what we can say to you if you're listening or watching, no matter what your age. Go get some books. Go listen to some podcasts. Travel. Ask your mom and dad questions of where they're from. Understand your family dynamics, and then understand who you are. And this is what you're doing. Like, you both are. And yeah, and God, it's important to have dreams and goals, but it's also to know who's in your life and the relationships. And contribution is the biggest part. Like, it's the end part of the circle. Emotion, heart, talent, skills, and life experience, pain points. They all lead us to who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do. So, like, yeah, so you're learning and you're gathering the data. Like, you and your dad brought you, he's mentoring you, not just himself, but he's bringing you to other people in the community, which you all can do. Any one of you could go pick up the phone and go somewhere. Do you know, when I was 20-something, my very first corporate job was for a Chubb Group of Insurance, a worldwide insurance company, and human resources female manager. She was all in a business suit, and I admired her, right? She seemed so confident, strong, and she started taking me under her wing and taught me about mentoring. And then she's like, Georgette, go ask those managers out to lunch. And I was like, what? She's like, go ask them out to lunch and ask them how to become an underwriter and how to do, how did they get to be a manager? I didn't even know how to do that. And she taught me that. So the fact that your dad, Dr. Raj, you got to sit with Congressman Math recently in our area, and then Senator Dale Harrell, right? Talk about that. How was your experience with them hanging for the day?
I've definitely learned a lot from him. I mean, they're great mentors, great people, super nice, super sweet. And actually, just yesterday, we had lunch with Senator Gale. She was really sweet. She actually offered me to go up to DC to shadow for a week.
That's amazing.
I'm excited about that.
And she gave a gift of time.
Yes.
Because that's and see, that's, I think, all of us, the more we share with other people of who we are and what we are, it adds to the betterment of our community and world at large. But now you left with something valuable, and that was like my experience too. It was like the seed of something greater now, and then I ended up mentoring and being a big sister with big brother, big sister, guardian ad litem. And so it's so unselfish of people. It's so kind. Yeah. And now you'll go and do something with that, I bet, with your classmates, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you're going to be into politics down the road, who knows? But it's shaping you as a young lady right now, right?
Yeah. And one thing I'm really passionate about is leadership. I've had leadership roles. I was vice president of my student government committee, and I was also vice president of National Junior Honor Society. I'm very passionate about leadership.
I love it.
Guiding people and helping my peers, but also learning from them, being able to grow from them, connecting with them, helping them in any way I can. I love being their voice. Anything I can do to benefit them, I'm here.
And that's what your role, like, you're finding that out. Mm-hmm. So not everyone is able to communicate the same way. Not everyone has that gift. Everyone's personalities are different, and that's the thing to uncover. But now you're realizing you're a leader, and everyone's capable of it, but you're stepping into that zone and saying, I can be the voice. I can communicate. And you're singing, but your words. And a lot of people need someone to stand up for them and be that advocate. And now you're doing that.
Who knows, maybe even one day I'll go into government as my career. I've already been thinking about it.
Yeah. I love this. I love that.
And I'll say, Georgette, I'm very proud of Paladin. We have our toolboxes as parents, just like my parents had given me a good life. So, I'm passing these toolboxes on to her, and we're very grateful to our congressman and our senator. Mm-hmm. They give her, their cell phone numbers. They really give the time and energy to motivate her. And this is service.
Yes.
This is service at the end of the day. These are the relationships more than just these things that we keep chasing. Mm-hmm. And, with her work in the congressman's office and then with our senator, I think that this will be a good opportunity for her to kind of see her buffet of choices in life. Yeah. She's a 4.0 student. The other students listen to her mentorship as well, and she's growing in 100 different ways, and we're very proud of her. She's coming a long way, and I think that these good people behind us will really help her. She's met doctors, trial attorneys. She's met a billionaire, different political people, and just so many people, just the community at large. So she's on her way. These are great gifts at this stage of life, and I want her to pass on that good karma, pay it forward, help some of her own fellow students and others along her path.
Yeah.
She's a very big-hearted, very sensitive, loving,
and I picked that. I just met Paladin, and I already sense that. And it's very, very important. find what you can do. Like, I did not have that, but I had books. And then libraries. There's libraries everywhere. Thank goodness for the libraries. When you can't afford a book, go rent a book. I remember as a single mom taking my daughter there, and we would go get books and things to do, and it was amazing. Now, we didn't have that when I was your age, but there's so many things to listen to, and it adds perspective. And then, of course, if you can go places traveling. But get yourself in the room. That's what they always say in the self-development, professional development. Go meet people that you admire. Have the courage to invite someone out for coffee. No matter what your age, if you are looking up to someone or they're doing what you're interested in, ask them for coffee. Ask them if they can talk on the phone. Reach out.
Yeah. You referenced this mentorship, something I touched on earlier, and we've talked about it, right? At this age, they go into the stores or the Disneylands of the world and they want everything. We all did it. But these relationships are really part of that currency at a different phase of life.
Yeah.
We need to really memorialize more than all of these sort of materialistic items. But you're right. Mentorship, that is education. These podcasts, there's institutions like the American Academy, even Harvard.
Education is key.
Free resources, the library. These are your gurus. But the mentorship makes a difference. I look at it. My key to success, I've been asked this in interviews, is my mentors. My mentors made me. And to this day, they're still behind me and help me. And I've used so many of their resources. And I hope Paladin sees that, in her father and so many other adults around her.
And it's all arenas. So one of the most important person, I call her my spiritual mama. But listen, there's mentors in all arenas. The educational realm, sports realm, business realm, Heart Matters, counseling. But she was a woman in our church. She was a senior mom. She started a Bible study in her penthouse. And I was in the midst of such beauty that I've never realized before. And that was way back when we walk into this penthouse. And that was God. And it's a personal, but it meant a lot. But she took us under her wings. She would call us. She would check on us. And I was a mess. But someone who had patience. And she would see the beauty underneath because I was covered up. And she would say, Georgette, later in life, your hair's not covering your face. So you've come a long way, girl. I was like, thank you. And that's what you're taking time now with your classmates. You're getting to know them, right? And then you're what do they need? What are their hopes are? And you're going to help your class and your friendships and all of that. But it's in all arenas. Your teachers, you find, I remember I had two, right? People that stick out. You remember the people who made a difference in your life. There's a quote about that. It's true. It's how people make you feel and what they've done for you. One thought, one word, and especially time with people, you walk away with something. Right?
Yeah. I really like what you said, Georgette. Paladin, why don't you share some of the mentoring you've done at your school? The tutoring, student endowment, and community activities. I'm going to share something with everybody.
Yeah, so you tutored?
Yeah, so at my old school, we had this thing called homework help, and it's where kids who were struggling with their homework, they just need some extra guidance from people who are maybe in the same class who kind of knew the struggles and problems that they needed help with. So we would help them, whether it was with math, science, history, all subjects, anything. We would help them, we would guide them, and we would also let them think on their own, and we would give them tactics. So the next time they know how to handle that problem themselves.
Right.
Oh my gosh. That's effective.
And I'm going to put Paladin on.
Yes.
Here's my cell phone number. Our cell phone number, 305-989-0001.
No, it's two.
So that's our cell phone number. Reach us. Paladin is always interested in mentoring others. It is the credit to success. So if we can be of any help to anyone, please let us know. Even Paladin and I have been working on a business. She has a business card. She's working to developing that side.
I know. She has a business card, and they're developing a business of helping.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So, my MBA is her MBA as well, and she'll have that before you know it. So please, anybody we can be of service to in so many different sectors. We have a lot of experience between us. We'd love to be of help.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just scared to ask.
No, yeah.
And that's the difficulty of it. I love that you shared earlier, just asking someone for a cup of coffee. And gosh, if you're a kid, if you're young, you can be silly. People will say no to you. You can use cute faces. We can't say no to the kids, right?
No.
So that's a good way to get help. It won't work for me, but for you guys, it can. So try it. Ask.
And you have a phone number to call.
Yeah, networking,
the only other person that is Bob Goff. He has a phone number in his book. The Love Does. author, and Love Does, and he put his phone number, and he would just share some of the stories. But I hope people take you up on that and call the number and just ask. That's good. I always told my daughter that, and then it came back to me. I always ask. Someone could say no. If you were thinking if you wanted to go try something, do something, just ask. They could say no.
Go so far, my friends. Georgette, right here. She is an entrepreneur. She is an author. She's a big-hearted human being. Sure, she could take so many under her.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
We have a Junk to Jewel book, but I'm working on a curriculum. So maybe you and I could brainstorm together that I want to do a workshop with young girls. My husband and I love to mentor folks, couples in crisis, or those healing from divorce and leadership. We love to talk about leadership stuff too. So there's a lot. So yeah, definitely that's in process. That's coming. So stay tuned. So maybe we could talk.
I like it.
So, do you have a favorite book? I know if you're a reader, that's a hard question, but is there a favorite book between the two of you, or Dr. Raj and Paladin?
It's a kind of more of a kiddie book, but I read it when I was in 5th grade. It's the Percy Jackson series. It's a series of 5 books, and it shows how there was this one little timid kid that was kind of new, kind of brought in, and everyone kind of pushed him to the side that he wasn't important, but then he rised up and he became brave, he became courageous, he became a hero of the gods. It was about Greek mythology, which also sparked my interest for Greek mythology that I still have to this day. But I really loved his story, and obviously mixed with fantasy, mixed with action and all that, what kids love. But that was really a book that stood out to me.
What's it called again?
Percy Jackson. It's
Percy Jackson. I've not heard of it, but now I'm going to go look at it.
I remember we read some of these together.
Dr. Raj, do you have a book?
Oh gosh.
There's so many.
The amount of exams I've gone through and readings after readings, I've forgotten how to read. Reading a menu in a restaurant is too complicated for me now, let me tell you. So I will admit I do not read as voraciously as I used to. I used to be that kid who used to hang out in the library and the stores.
Or audio.
I'm going to have to come back to you on that answer. Apologize. So, I do read some books. I don't want to offend anyone by not mentioning their book. So I'm going to have to think a little more on that.
Quote or an affirmation.
Okay. So that I can speak to. It's actually, as a matter of fact, on my business card.
Oh my gosh.
It is a thing that has really opened up doors, ironically. I'm holding it in my hand. Whether I've met someone who's having a rough day, or it's a bus driver, a teacher, a principal, a senator, a billionaire, a Fortune 100 CEO, for whatever reason, I didn't realize how human we are. Titles and all that in life. Love your struggle. It's my personal quote.
Drop the mic.
No. Struggle. So love your struggle, because I've been through some really rough things in my life. And even some of my own family and friends have not really understood what I've gone through. And I realized, as upset as I was in those times, I fought with God in just tears and upset.
I can relate a little.
Yes, I knew you can.
God.
I learned it was necessary. This failure, this tragedy, as unfair as it's been, has been the necessary recipe to rise, as you spoke, to make my success. So I try to remind everyone, love your struggle, which means, embrace those tragedies and those failures, because the turn around the corner is that blessing in disguise. And if we wallow too much in those difficult moments or the past, our light doesn't come through. We don't shine. We don't succeed. There's no way I could have gone through medical school and law school and been top of my class. Started my second company after selling my first, meeting and greeting and dancing with folks in DC and Fortune 100 companies. None of this could have happened if I didn't go through hell.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. I would have been complacent. I would have been too calm inside my box. I would have felt that I was a champion. You always want to be in a room where you are struggling, where you're not always the brightest, where you're not always the champion. So then keep pushing. You have to keep pushing yourself outside the box. So, love your struggle. Is what I resonate to, and pain is power. That's another sentiment I share in some of my...
And I say that with humility. So, love the struggle is a choice. And so, my book, Junk to Jewels, the podcast, Junk to Jewels, it can turn to the jewels, but only if you love the struggle.
Embrace it. Yeah.
You read into it, be acknowledging what happened. It's a choice. It's a choice. You can leave your head in the sand. You can allow it to destroy you. You can not show up ever again and go hide out for the rest of your life. But then you robbed yourself of a life, and you rob those around you of you. So love the struggle.
Correct.
That is perfect. I hope you guys hear or see this. I'm feeling it right now. But love that struggle, because things happen in life, and we can all, the older we get, the more we see and experience ourselves. And Paladin, you're of the age yet, thank goodness, you only have hearing about struggle. So rest assured, like I always say, like you're either on the mountaintop or a valley, but you will be on the one or the other next. So it comes, but now you're being prepared. You're understanding. And no matter your young age, guys out there, you can be prepared to understand life's got hardship and we can overcome, and it's okay. It will work through. And this is why now we can encourage others too. You can encourage your friends because of the stories you've heard around you. You know, you can talk someone through a tough time. But do you have a favorite quote or affirmation, Paladin?
So I do. It's a little similar to what he said, but it's winners are born of defeat. And what this means is, I'm just going to use this analogy of tennis. Tennis, I'm very passionate about tennis. I play tennis a lot. But let me tell you, I have lost a lot more than I have won. And it's only made me stronger. It's only pushed me to my highest potential. It's made me keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep going as high as I can, climbing to that mountain until finally I won. And I grew a lot. I learned a lot. And yeah, definitely something needed in everyone. Winners are born of defeat.
Winners are born of defeat.
I live by that quote always.
Winners are born of defeat.
Defeat is necessary in order to win. And she's placed in these, United States Tennis Association tournaments because of this, and succeeded in so many other places. And Paladin, please don't be shy. Share
the attitude,
the hardship you had when you were younger and how you found your path from that too.
Yeah, sadly, in my younger grades, I started a new school. And I was kind of smaller. I was a girl, There were some people who kind of picked on me, made fun of me, didn't make me feel the best. I felt like I couldn't go to anyone who would understand what I was going through. But now I've risen up from that. I've learned from that, and I realized that's only made me stronger. Only taught me life, and probably something I'm going to see a lot more in my life. It's made me stronger. I've grown from it, and now I'm stronger than I was. I'm actually the voice of my students, so I've risen above that. And yeah, it's taught me a lot.
No, thank you.
That was not a good time, but you saw through that and you walked through that. I'm glad you shared that. Okay, being vulnerable is scary. Nobody wants us to. Sometimes we hide our real selves in there, but that's the best part of ourselves. That's where the shiningness of that gem is. Thank you for sharing that, because you're not like, there's so many young people out there. It's a huge deal. It did not happen.
There's a lot of people going through bullying my age, and they go through the depression, burnout, stress, anxiety, and anyone that you could possibly help who's having struggling mental health. It's always good to be aware of that and always check up on them. If there's any way you can help them, always be of serious only to help them.
Yes. I'd like to ask your take on social media, because this is another big epidemic with the young people and us adults. Us adults, the research has come back around that the more you're on the phone and scrolling, that it diminishes your brain capabilities and social skills. And at your age, you guys are developing your social skills. So I just want to hear from your perspective, Paladin, your thoughts on cell phone usage. It's a tool. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that at a good age, I think a cell phone's important for safety reasons, communication, but also as you're growing up. But there are definitely some cons, like social media. There's this term called doom scrolling, where you kind of just endless scroll, and a lot of times this can cause depression. This can cause sadness in a lot of teenagers or anyone really. And I
I've heard
social media can be a good way to communicate with people. You can meet new people, kind of go out of your comfort zone, but it can also, if used in the wrong way, it can hurt you more than it helps you. And I feel like if you do have social media, it's good to be aware of both sides of it. It's not always good, it's not always bad, but you need to be mindful and you need to use it properly.
Mindful, I like that word, and then be mindful of the balance.
Yes,
it is a good thing.
Balance.
And that's all things in life too, right? There's good and bad of things, and you have to be balanced. There's balance in all the things. Yeah, bullying's a serious topic. I was in freshman in high school, and I went through that almost to the point my parents were going to remove me out of the school. So listen, and it starts younger now, and that you went through that already. Like, it's just, people are so mean, and you shouldn't be mean, guys. We should be loving and kind. And see, I think that makes a real good person. And I say good lightly. What do you know about integrity and character and things like that? You mentioned it in the books you read. What are your thoughts on how to be a solid human being? What do you think some of those traits someone should possess to be a solid human being?
Well, I think honesty is the best policy. I think you should always be uplifting, helpful to whoever you can be, to whoever you can be. Always be supportive. Never try to bring someone down or belittle them or hurt them or harm them in any way or be negative. Always try to be happy and upbringing to people. And integrity, character, have strong character.
I love it. Thank you so much. Ryan Holiday's an author, and he loves the Stoics. He loves the Aristotle literatures, and he wrote books, and that's his whole platform. If you go check him out, Ryan Holiday. What other thoughts pop up as we wrap up? Anything else that you guys want to mention?
May I add something?
Yes, please. Yes.
So, with the difficulty that Paladin went through, going through bullying when she was younger, and as parents are very upset. I talked to the other family, the principal, the school board, but I also realized at the same time, in wanting to be overarching and protecting as a parent, you have to let your children fall a little bit within reason, just like we need to fall as adults, right? The things I've been through in my life, I would not have reached. Right. You cannot helicopter, as they say. You cannot overcome. And I'm proud of Paladin for facing it, because then later on, she became a green belt in Taekwondo, which wasn't just about fighting. Watch out!
Yeah, watch now.
And it's not just about, self-defense, but Taekwondo, any of the martial arts, what's beautiful about it is the character, the camaraderie.
I heard good things about the discipline.
I went to courses. I went to classes, and we did some private coaching on top of that with the master, and that was beautiful. And I loved it and learned as well. But what I wanted to add into, and I'm so proud that Paladin has been brave about it, and you've touched on a beautiful issue, Georgette, and you, Paladin, too. So mental health, especially in the pandemic, opened up a lot of perspective and awareness. I've been on the Senate floor lobbying for patients and mental health budgets and awareness. I think that it is a bigger and bigger unfortunate issue, but finally maybe we're getting a little bit more of a spotlight on this matter. So myself and Paladin are working on some things in this regard too. So if someone needs some help or they'd like to be involved, please do reach us.
Yes.
I listed the number earlier as well.
Yes.
But this is something we do need to pay attention to. There's a larger organization that I've helped build that is made of 200 doctors, and we talked about provider burnout, what doctors and nurses go through, and police and fire and attorneys and so many fields, including the typical adult and the typical child, student, whatnot. So it is something that we need to kind of master, because the way things are moving, if we don't start paying attention to these interpersonal dynamics as human beings, we are becoming obsolete models. We are becoming dinosaurs with the advent of AI and ASI, meaning technology at large, is coming to kind of supersede our decision making and superseding our problems and our issues and our work ethics to maybe replace us. We don't kind of get ahead of this. We're not going to ever really address this. So I'm glad to hear such a young student talking about this too. It's something that we cannot escape. And that decides the rest of us. That is our greatest muscle, as we always say. So I'm glad you broached that topic.
Brought up the words mental health. Back in the day, no one talked about those things. Yeah. So my mom's family struggled with mental health. My mom did on and off through her life. My uncle just committed suicide 2 years ago. So here's the deal. And my brother's living with mental health issues even now, living in between. Like, it's an issue. That's why I brought up the cell phone, because younger people are becoming more isolated, disconnected. So this is why I think you're passionate about what you're going to be doing, and me too. To know yourself, to know who you are, to understand what you need to be healthy and whole. It's eating healthy, yes, eat the good foods, exercise, but it's also relationships. We need each other. We need friends.
You need those connections.
You need those connections. So yeah, the COVID thing, the whole thing, my gosh, and it destroyed a lot because it destroyed a lot of connections. So I'm so glad this is coming up.
Yeah.
The homeless, it's in the jails, it is a lot of the root is mental health.
Yeah.
And if we can get back to basics, your heart health, your family relationships, as your family is, your community, your world, it just is so connected. But here's the deal. Anything has a solution if people come together and talk about it. So I'm so glad you guys are doing that. And solutions come in a room full of people from all backgrounds, ages, experience. We can do this. We can help people better in the mental health. And now I'm going to follow up with Paladin, because now this is going to be something I think you take charge of in your schools. And where do you go? Start, create your own coalition. Start a young people coalition for mental health. Not just awareness, but how about active? How about solution?
Yeah. Why don't you share a little bit about this? Well, it relates back to what you were talking about. So what do you got in your hand?
No, it's not a clown.
It's a red ball, it looks like to me. I see a red little ball. Oh, so we put it on your nose for those to listening. So it's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but that's the red nose.
Yes.
So
Red Nose Project.
The Red Nose Project.
The Red Nose Project.
So let me explain what the Red Nose Project is. The Red Nose Project is all about giving back to the community, people in poverty, people who maybe can't afford food, water, things that we take for granted, our light, things we see on a daily basis in our homes or wherever every single day. So this silly little clown game is all about very silly too, but it's memorable.
Remember,
It's about giving back to our community, helping anyone that we can, and we're always there for anyone striving for help.
Yes. And Paladin helped give out 15,000 of these red noses.
when you give it out to someone, does it come with something, or what do you mean?
Great question. So, much like you see the pink ribbon that represents breast cancer awareness,
Yes.
this red nose, which is literally a nose that fits on your face, is a representation that you are saying, I'm aware that there are those in need.
Okay.
And it's meant to be fun because it's associated with children and families. We put on a silly clown nose and people smile and they laugh, and we've had billionaires wear it, politicians, people of the streets, doctors. And so what we are doing when we give out these 15,000 noses, like Paladin has articulated, we are spending time with children and families, right? Supporting their mental health. We've given out food and clothing and school supplies and just care for children who are in need. As a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, we're going to meet with about 6,000 children, Paladin, myself, and a group of other doctors and community members. And it's back to school time. So we're giving out backpacks, school supplies, food, clothing, medical help, so on and so forth. So it's a large initiative, and Paladin has been there. She's given it out to veterans. We've gone inside of literally wooded areas where people are living and given out items. She's been doing this for years for veterans. We're a veteran family. We've met with people on the streets and in some of the, project areas, the ghettos, also just in some of the suburban areas. We raise food, we raise funds, we have given out scholarships. So it's a big initiative across the board for really mental and physical health across the board. And I'm very proud that she has taken such a great lead in this amongst her youth. So much to do and much to do.
Yes.
Positive that you're doing that.
And the money.
Yes.
And even, there's no respect of persons, poverty with poverty. I was a teacher, and the teachers usually have to get all the supplies. It's so needed. A lot of the children don't have the ability to go to school with the right tools. And that's so important.
This girl, she used to tell me this when she was even younger. Daddy, there's some kids who come to school, we look at food.
No, and they're
She
hungry.
would give them food from her lunch for them, and that affects their studies. And God bless them, because those children also taught her how to give, how to pay attention, how to support, right? And then they build friendships.
I love it.
She's always had a big heart. We can't even take credit for it. I helped deliver her. She was born this way. I'm telling you, such a big hearted person.
So beautiful.
Even when she was in elementary school, she was in 5th grade. She was the kindness coordinator. That's when she began her leadership works.
I love that kindness
coordinator. They did this in elementary school. I know it was my
That makes
when you were
sense.
young, but
That makes
she had
sense.
to integrate with the teachers and the students, and charitable efforts and remind everybody kindness. We say cash is king, kindness is king.
Kindness
We forget
overruns
that
stuff.
sometimes. So very proud of her.
So
very proud
thank
of her.
you.
So going to be a champion of a woman soon.
So look, I have a question I ask my guests too. If you could sit down with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh, pressure, whatever you say.
So I actually have two people. They're kind of polar opposites, but one I would want to meet is Zendaya. She's so talented. She's an actress. She's a singer. She's a model. She does it all. I just want to have an interaction with her, just get to know her, understand her. She's a very talented, amazing woman. And two is a little old school, but George Washington, because he was one of the first people. He was one of the founding fathers. He kind of set the fine print for America. He was one of the first leaders that when he was going into battle, what was he thinking? Was he scared? He was kind of the first role model. When I think of something like tennis, I look up to Serena Williams, or singing, I'll look up to Ariana Grande or Zendaya. But he didn't really have anyone to look. He was his own role model. And I think that's very powerful and strong in itself.
Yes, yeah.
I do.
Dr. Raj, do you have?
Yeah, no. That's a compliment. I love what you shared, Paladin, because it shows me, as a dad and a mentor for a minute, trying to be a little unbiased. We all love our children. It tells me she has a calling for healthcare and government from you. She's told me over time. And by you picking up such a choice, it says something about you. I took an oath long ago on the original George Washington Bible for other people, and I have that. You haven't even seen it, but one day I'm supposed to pass it on. That's larger than my point.
So fun. Oh my goodness.
You're seeping into my deep memories here. Okay, so how do I answer your question, Georgette? So if I could sort of pick anyone,
Past or present, who would it be?
a little existential, a little spiritual, I believe my answer would be God.
Okay.
Just to see if he or she shows up.
Yes.
Would be my first reason. Just to
Yes.
see if God actually shows up.
Yes.
So there's a lot of questions in that thought.
Yes. That's
I think for me, I would ask why. Why did the things happen to me that happened? I was always a good kid or a responsible kid, a little rambunctious as a teenager, as my mom would say. But I've had some unfair, just heart-wrenching, made-for-movie struggles in my life. And I have been a little upset about that. And I think this would be one of my questions. Why? Why you did this to me? Why you let this happen? And then maybe number two, I would ask, why all the suffering we have? I've seen pediatric oncology rotations where children are going through cancer at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old, and they don't understand. They think it's their fault. Why is it happening to them? And all of their loved ones are falling apart. My own parents, her grandparents are suffering right now terribly, especially my mother at this time. And being as qualified as I am and having the resources I have, my mom's going through chemotherapy. I can't help her. I don't know what to do. I feel so helpless. I'm done. I think I've done a lot of good karma on my small time on this rented dirt, and I feel very helpless. I've reached the deep, tough, hard corners of Mount Olympus, let's call it that, through my networking, but I can't save my mom. Literally ask someone in our current administration that I love so dearly, please give me the formula for cancer. Save her, fix her, do what you need to do. Selfishly, I'm asking you as a son. And I don't know what I'm going to do when the time comes. That's hard to face and hard to deal with. And I know that's the cycle of life. Logic is not working so well with emotional. And I come from those kind of roots where we die for our parents, die for our children. And it's just been very hard. And I think when we talk to God that, why all the suffering, especially older in life?
Yeah.
Not as strong to maintain it.
No, that's going to be a deep conversation. And I bet you that bench is never going to fit all the people that would want to join you on that bench to ask why. Out of the Bible of Job's the only chapter that really goes face on the why question. I don't know if you ever read Job in the Bible.
Yes.
He's just all of a sudden, he's upright. He's upright. He's doing the right things. And it's allowed, these challenges are allowed to come to him. And I don't think the question ever got answered there. That was one of the ahas. Like, a lot of us have our different whys. And I think this is our journey as human beings, and the faith journey, spiritual journey is there might be answers and there may not be, but it's what we do each day after. So thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you for asking.
Yeah, this has been fun. We touched upon some really deep topics. And yeah, I think leaving on that note, I think it's meant to be, because each of our hearts, there's joys, there's sorrows in life. It's all intermixed. And it's mixed blessings.
Yes.
And what you said. So love from, what was your motto, your affirmation?
Winners are born of defeat.
Winners are born of defeat, and love the struggle, and junk is jewels.
Even if things are hard, even if the road of life is rough and bumpy, always keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep walking. Keep tramping down that road, that mountain, that path, that journey that God has destined for you. Always keep going, because that perseverance, that motivation, that means the world. That means everything. And you can get there anything.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Raj, want to add one word?
I love what Paladin says. You guess anything? I wish a little love from our Indian culture. And namaste, which means I bow to the God and innocent in each of you. And it is our dear ones that really teach us and make us grow. I'm very happy and blessed to have Paladin in my life and my lives. Yes. So thank you so much to everyone and to Georgette. Thank you very much.
Namaste. So Dr. Raj Kumar has a website. You can find him on the website.
You can. Maybe say.
Okay. So it'll be in the show notes. You can find him on Instagram. The phone number will be in the show notes too. If you have questions, you want to connect with Dr. Raj and Paladin. They are beautiful people. Thank you so much for being guests on the Junk to Jewels podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
We're so happy being here.
Guys, go out and meet new people. Go connect. Go ask questions. Go find yourself a mentor. Go read a book. Listen to a podcast and find out who you are, and be blessed today. Take care now.